What do you crave? That question might lead to something crazy like a donut, hot Cheetos if you're me, maybe a soda, whatever the case may be, but that can make you only temporarily happy. But Jesus said for real happiness, we should crave something else. Jesus said to be happy, crave justice and good. Good morning and welcome to the 755 Live. For about 5 minutes, you'll hear all about an easy-to-remember soundbite version of what Jesus said. The point? To help you experience life to the fullest the Jesus way. Today's Jesus said comes from Matthew chapter 5, verse 6 in the Bible reading plan. We're going to read from two versions. The first one is the New Living Translation, and it says, God blesses those who hunger and thirst for justice, for they will be satisfied. And again, Matthew chapter 5, verse 6 in the NET says, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. So which one is it? Righteousness or justice? Well, in the Greek, the word justice in a broad sense means the state of him who is as he ought to be. Righteousness, the condition acceptable to God, the doctrine concerning the way in which a man may attain a state approved by God. So basically it's saying they're kind of the same thing. The other version of justice is the narrower sense, which justice or the virtue which gives each his due. Kind of the way we more think of it in the sense of like a legal justice. You know, people get what they deserve in that sense. So this is all kind of going back to the Beatitudes of the be happies. That's what a lot of people call the Beatitudes, is the be happies. It's a blueprint for living in the kingdom. And he's saying if you crave and thirst for good, then you'll find it. In Matthew chapter 19, verse 7, it says, why call me good? None is good but God. So in other words, he's saying the people were calling Jesus good, and he's saying, why are you calling me good? Only person who's good is God. And if we crave his goodness, his justice, his righteousness, what does that look like? And can we attain that? In Micah chapter 6, verse 8, it says, he has told you, oh man, what is good, and what the Lord really wants from you. Every time I read this, I think about what he's saying here. He's saying, I'm about to tell you what the Lord really wants from you. And then he tells you, he wants you to promote justice, to be faithful, and to live obediently before your God. I think the promote justice and be faithful always to me make, not maybe perfect sense, but make more sense. I think the one I sometimes forget about on this one is to live obediently before your God. Live in a way that you're following what he's asked you to do and you're sticking to it. Every definition, though, of justice has been hijacked by both sides. You can't do the right thing the wrong way. Justice isn't what other people have called it, like social justice or all these different things, which those aren't bad, but it's taking away from the definition that Jesus was saying, which justice in that sense was to be like Jesus, to show righteousness, to show kindness, to show goodness, no matter what. Jesus showed justice to people by giving them the ability to be seen by the Father as him, to be seen by God as the righteousness of Christ. But there is no real justice without Jesus. Social justice, all the hot button issues, all that. Where's Jesus? Where's our obedience to what's good? There goes that obedience again from Micah. It's not our opinions that make us good or justified. It's God's goodness. It's not easy. If you don't fall in line with the extremes of either side and promote, you watch out. But that leads to happiness too. And you know what I mean? If you're just kind of one way or the other, then it's still temporary. But Matthew chapter 5, verse 10, and again, this is going to the Beatitudes, it says, blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to them. Who are persecuted for righteousness. So saying those who are, mistreated, who are maybe even physically abused or whatever the case may be for righteousness, the kingdom of heaven belongs to them. So he's saying that God will reward us if we continue to follow righteousness, if we're obedient to that call of righteousness that he's given us. And he says to hunger, crave after God's goodness, and be ready to be misunderstood and persecuted for it. The blessing, the happiness, even eternal life is worth it. So what are you craving like your life depends on it? Are you craving justice and good? Because that is how you're going to be happy. Again, our verse of the day was Matthew chapter 5, verse 6. So how can you put that into action today? How can you crave justice and good? How can you be more like Jesus? How can you be obedient to the call that Jesus has given us? But thank you so much for listening. If you enjoy this, this is super meaningful to us to be able to do this for you. And if it's meaningful to you, it would mean a lot if you would like, share, comment. We really appreciate you. We hope you have an amazing day. If you want to follow along with us, this is at bible.today.church. I hope this time together has helped you live life to the fullest the Jesus way. And remember, we end everything by saying the same thing. Love first. Thank you, guys.